Hello and welcome back to the podcast. We are coming back from a long weekend, so we hope everybody else enjoyed their weekend as well. I had a pretty tough weekend, to be honest, and we can get into that. It's not as lighthearted, but I think we can start this off with a little bit of lightheartedness from Brittany's weekend here. I think Brittany might have a shady story to share that happened over the weekend, so
I mean,
if you will.
It was, any old, relaxing, beautiful weekend on a lake.
One would imagine.
One would think it was my mom's birthday. We had to do it up. We had to celebrate. We had family in town. And, I wasn't expecting the outcome of what went down out on the lake. And this is, we are pretty peaceful with our neighbors. We make friends on the lake.
Mm-hmm.
There have been a few minor incidents throughout the time of us living on this lake where we've gotten into arguments, if you will.
Drama
With other lake goers. But it's been a minute. The last argument was a couple years ago.
Well, there's one thing I think we've all learned, that you will be petty, but not necessarily up front.
No, I'm not really.
But one
direct.
thing we can share with the listeners, I think, is that your mom will never back down from a fight.
Oh, no, she will not.
Maybe that's where you get it from.
That's absolutely where I get it from. And here's the thing is, she listened to the podcast where we talked about me being petty. She was like, I don't think you're that petty. She was being petty about comparing to her. And I'm sure I'll hear from her when she hears in this exact moment that she's listening to this. So anyways, we're out on the lake. My dad is driving us around on a speedboat. And then we were going around, just the lake a couple of times. And there are lake rules. Like, you can only drive, it's either clockwise or counterclockwise is how you're supposed to go out the lake. So if you're going out, you can't just be going in any old direction on the lake. You need to be going from right to left. Similarly, you can't just be anchored anywhere on the lake. There's a few spots where there's not too much room to get around certain corners because there's island land.
Right. And it's also common courtesy
to not anchor out around the corners where people are turning and driving their boats at 6 p.m. at night, prime boating time. Maybe not prime boating time, but definitely not late. So we were doing our laps and we noticed this woman on this pontoon on our second lap, our third lap. She's kind of far away from us, so we can't fully see her. It's far enough where we can't tell. She's doing something with her arms. It's a boo. She's booing us. And she had her phone up just like this. So she was recording us. The lake that our family has a house on has, as some communities do, a Facebook page. So we're like, oh, that clip, that's going on the Facebook page. And lo and behold, within 5 minutes of us being back from the boat ride, it was on the fucking Facebook page. And so I guess, should I read what she said?
Basically, in short, so I get the messages from Brittany. She's like, look at what this lady just posted about us, in our community Facebook.
She was basically asking if anyone knew who this boat was.
And so...
Thanks. At first, I responded back and I go, what losers, with exclamation points, knowing that it was us. And my mom was like, don't say that. Then they'll think we're losers. I was like, it's sarcasm.
So her mom sees this, and of course, she's not going to take shit. The lady was accusing them of going too fast near anchored boats. But they were like, why the hell was she anchored there? We didn't even know she was anchored there.
We were well over 100 feet away from them. This lady was claiming we were within 100 feet, almost hit them. We were so far away, I couldn't tell if she was thumbs up or thumbs down at us. It could have been either one.
You could need glasses, but yeah. So,
that too.
But also, I want to preface this by saying, so I don't know the situation. I wasn't there. But I will say that if Brittany's dad was driving the boat, he is the most responsible man that I know.
Have ever met.
He would never do that. So I just knew right away. I'm like, oh, this lady just wants to be a Karen on Facebook.
Oh, she
like,
was
it's
absolutely a Karen.
But then so then the post gets deleted. Which,
not yet.
Oh,
my mom
you were
commented on it
yeah.
twice, and then her comment got removed, and then comments were turned off.
So, but your mom said, like, that's us. We did not do that.
Yeah.
Why are you anchored there?
Yep.
And then so it gets deleted. Probably the like manager of the page was like, oh shit, this is going sideways. So deletes it. So then doesn't your mom make a post
She
herself?
made her own post saying, don't know why the admin turned comments off, ... but her name was,
fully calls her out by name.
asked if anyone recognized the boat, and I said it was mine, ... and then just keeps going with the ... She said thank you in the end of it. That post got deleted.
This Facebook administrator was like, what is going
and then
on?
I posted, and I basically, because then everything was deleted, and I already had screenshots, so I took exactly what said and basically said in my own words, because I took a picture of
about
her.
them.
Yes, because I took a picture of their
you
boat.
You fucking Uno reversed it, and we're like, why are you anchored out there? Do you know whose boat this is?
Yes, I did. I said, anyone recognize this boat?
Oh my God.
Being very disrespectful. Thanks. And then that got deleted too.
And
but
in that moment, I was just really upset. I wasn't there to witness in real time, because I could just imagine your mom being like, we'll go over there right now and tell her.
She's going to kill me when she listens. And she wants to run for the board now of the Lake Association.
She honestly should. There'd be like parties every weekend on the lake of like.
She'd be so good at it.
The parade, the boat parade.
Yes,
there'd be like a boat parade every
month. Even when the lake is frozen over, another boat parade. It'd be crazy. Yeah. She was PTO president once. You remember that? It was when we were in elementary school. Freaking Dora the Explorer was at our first day of school. She had characters come to the first day of school.
Honestly, that's such a perfect job for your mom.
I know.
She should definitely be on it.
I know. She thinks I'm going to be her social media coordinator. She was like, that's your role. She was making a whole plan when we were, in the midst of this battle.
For this?
Yeah.
I would love to be a part of it. But yeah, your weekend was a lot more fun than mine. When you were sending me this, I was on my deathbed. So I was like,
yeah, you weren't doing so well.
Please send me updates. What's going on? I needed entertainment.
No, I was like, this might not be a good time, but here's what's going on with me.
You're like, how are you feeling? By the way, we're in a Facebook fight. I'm like, oh, cool. No, so it was so freaking weird. So I've always gotten migraines, and it was so funny because I was thinking about like, if I was going to talk about this or not. And I'm like, dude, I've got asthma, eczema, migraines. There's just so much shit wrong with me. And I was just thinking, when I don't have all those things, you bitches better watch out.
Because we're coming for you.
No, but anyway, so I've always gotten migraines, but not to this point. So I woke up on Friday and my head was hurting. Not like anything crazy yet, but I was like, I'm going to be proactive. I'm going to take Tylenol. I get up, I take medicine. I go to lay back down because it was like 7 a.m. And I was like, I'll just lay back down for a little bit. It'll go away. Within 20 minutes, I'm up vomiting. I'm like, perfect. It's a full-blown migraine. Continuously until I think for like 4 hours, 5 hours, I continued to just vomit. So I was like, all right, I need to go to the hospital. Anyways, nothing's wrong with me, turns out, or so they say. So I'm like fully, I don't know, I self-diagnose a lot.
Yes,
so
you do, actually.
I'm like in there. I'm like, no, something's wrong with me. Like, you need to do all these tests. And they're like, ma'am, it's a migraine. I'm like, perfect. Thank you. So I go home. I'm fine. But then next day, which this has never happened to me, and it is the weirdest thing, I had what Google says is a positional headache, which means if you lay down, you don't have a headache at all. But if you
sit up,
go straight, so basically if you sit up, stand, walk, anything, sharp pains. So I've never had that in my life. So I'm laying down in the morning. I'm like, yes, I feel better. Like my migraine's gone. I go to stand up and like sharp pains go down the left side of my head. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So then I start panicking, start self-diagnosing.
Obviously.
I'm like
straight to
texting
Google.
Everyone. I'm like, I've got cerebral spinal fluid leak in my brain, all this stuff. And like, anyways, I ended up being fine by Sunday, but I was like, if this persists, like I may die. So I'm like, genuinely, like I didn't know what was going on.
No, that's so true, because we met in the parking lot to walk over here, and I was like, how's it going? And you're like, just happy to be alive.
Dude, like I've been literally since Sunday morning, a pep has been in my step like never before, because I genuinely was
defeated
like
something.
I was going to pass away, I thought, like for real. So when I woke up on Sunday and I was okay, I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna make it to see another
What's
day.
up?
But yeah, so that's what I went through this weekend.
That's wild.
But my paranoia like translated into everything, which I think it always does. I don't realize how much like I am like my mother in the sense of every single thing, like scenario that could go wrong. I'm the one that's going to point it out. Like, you shouldn't do that. You might get a brain eating amoeba.
Yeah.
Which is what I was telling. So our travel nursing friend stopped over on Sunday.
Right.
And she's like been off in Hawaii, like doing all these crazy things. And she's like telling me all these amazing stories. And I'm like, okay, but you shouldn't do that because you're going to get a brain eating amoeba. And she's like, can you get off the internet? And I'm like, no, seriously, don't
Proud
do
of
that.
her.
But then she starts telling me how she's like going to Europe on a whim, basically. And I did the same thing when Elena was going for her honeymoon. I just started like telling her all the things I've seen on TikTok about
what could go wrong traveling there.
Pickpocketing, this, that. And so I start doing the same thing to our friend. And I'm like, well, just so you know, like this is happening there.
You're like my mom. And that's how my mom was before I went to Europe.
Really? And then I just start like going, I'm like, attenzione, pickpocket. And so.
Oh, is that what you're supposed to say?
No, are you not on that TikTok side?
No.
Oh, so there's a lady which right now I can't even think about if our friend's going to Italy, but supposedly there's this lady in Italy. She's like an older lady, and she just watches out for pickpockets. And if she sees
draws
them,
attention to it,
she screams and draws attention to them.
That's incredible.
And they get so pissed, and like everyone videos her, and she's basically famous on TikTok
for announcing
and so,
pickpocketers.
Like, I just kept doing that to our friend the whole time she was over. I was like, attenzione, pickpocket. And she was like, can you stop? You're freaking me out.
No, pickpocketing is a big deal over there.
I know, but then she goes home and I start like telling her, because also when she told me she was doing travel nursing, I think I talked about this, how I was the one that gave her like a bunch of weapons and like alarms and stuff to bring.
Anything you could need for home security on the go, that she now has.
Yeah. And so, but you can't bring that stuff in a carry-on, which when you go to Europe, you're really only supposed to bring that. You're not supposed to have like a bunch of luggage. So I was Googling like weapons that aren't really weapons that you could bring in a carry-on. So I send her like a list of like all these things to bring in her bag, and she's like, terrified. Oh, that's a good idea. But I thought they were good ideas. Which I didn't even know you could do this, but supposedly you can bring a wine corkscrew in your carry-on. So I was like, you could put it in your fist and pew, if someone's messing with you on the street, not like just messing with you, but like if they assault you. Also, you can bring tools that are under. Good clarification. Don't just like attack somebody.
Only when necessary. Only if you're assaulted, you use that fucking wine cork.
Also, you can bring tools that are under 7 inches. So like a screwdriver you could bring. You can also bring nail trimming scissors, which I kind of knew because one time I accidentally packed them in my thing.
And it was okay.
And no one said anything. So
thank God.
But yeah, so this is only for the intended purposes. These are just ideas.
Only in the case of assault.
Exactly.
Not if someone's messing with you.
They're just like bothering you.
Not like, if someone is simply irritating you on the streets of Europe.
Well, no, like there's all these different things I see on TikTok where it'll be like, if somebody comes up to you and pretends to want to dance with you,
or like
don't
sell you a flower, sell you a bracelet. Yes, they're trying to distract you, to pickpocket you. Oh, trust me, I heard it all before I went to Italy. My mom made me get this she's really going to have it with me when she listens to this. I just wanted to use a cute, trendy purse when I was in Italy, as one does.
Not on Cheryl's watch.
Not on her fucking watch. I had this state-of-the-art safety bag that was like a purse. It was like designed so like if someone came cuts it, they can't cut it. That nobody could come up to it and scan the bag and get your credit card numbers. There was like 5 locks on everything to open it, and there was this ugly fucking satchel that I had to use the whole time. And then I always see people like on their honeymoons or like just traveling the world at this point, not even just studying abroad, and they have like their cute bag with their cute outfit. I'm like, well, hopefully they don't get pickpocketed because I wasn't allowed to have that.
I mean, you could have, but
I had a backpack too. It was like a matching set. It was like a smart backpack and a smart satchel. I swear.
I mean, honestly, that'd be me. I've never been to Europe, which I think we've also talked about, and I really do want to go, but all the videos I see on TikTok stress me out. But then at the same time, I'm like, this is literally everywhere. Like when we went to Nashville for a bachelorette, one of the girls in our group literally got their phone pickpocketed out of their pocket on Broadway.
It's not just Europe.
So like it can happen anywhere, especially when there's crowds and stuff. So like, I don't know. I think it's just because of the stuff that I see.
Right. You always got to be mindful
aware of it.
Which is good. So when we inevitably go and travel Europe,
okay,
you'll be safe.
I've also said this. I feel like there's so much to see and do when it's not that far away. Like for some reason, Europe seems so small to me because like I just feel like you can get to a lot of different cities within a short period of time.
Yes, because they have and I'm probably gonna say this wrong, they have like the high speed trains, and you can just take those from like point A to point B. Well, that's like what you gotta take to get around. Also, from what I hear, plane tickets once you get over to Europe are a lot cheaper to get from like point A to point B.
Yeah, like it's like not that far.
Yes, because it's not as expensive from like traveling from here to anywhere.
Yeah, I don't know if I could do the train thing. You know what I was thinking actually recently? Remember how like all those trains were derailing for like a minute?
Yes.
Whatever happened?
I don't think we followed up.
Not like just us personally, but I feel like just no one's talking about it anymore. I feel like no one
followed up because
maybe we
were distracted by something else going on because there's
aliens. Dude, there's multiple things that we have not addressed since we've been back, and I feel like we're really slacking because first things first, and I wanted to bring this up and I've forgotten for 3 episodes now.
The aliens?
No
one cared about those.
No,
neither do you.
Exactly, neither do I. I don't even care to talk about it right now, but we are not wearing headphones anymore, and it's really not that big a deal, but I feel like they were a big part of season 1. And we just
we wore them every day.
We woke up one day and we said, no more headphones.
Well, because we got good practice at Lollapalooza not having them. And I just always assumed that we needed them. Never asked, never really had a good reason for why we had to have them on. It was just to hear ourselves better.
We talked about this on the Patreon. Join the Patreon if you want bonus content.
We're so funny there. I swear.
Deadass. You guys are really missing out.
No. We kick our feet up and I
mean, I'm not gonna lie.
We say wild things on there.
We're getting laxed here as well, but on there
things are out of control.
You guys don't even know what goes on. Anyways, back to the point. So no, we didn't need them, but you can hear if the mics are working good and like if you need to move closer.
Clue now.
we just don't
know because
care.
I look at the board and I say the louder I talk, the higher that little bar goes, and it's like a game for me. It's like at like
how loud can I get it?
Yeah, when they like swing and you hit the thing, goes all the way up. That's what I attempt to do with my voice.
You know we can't resist a shady celebrity headline, so the question we've been obsessed with is who killed Mia? We're talking, of course, about the epic new murder mystery game from today's sponsor, Relatable. You may know them for their internet-famous party games like What Do You Meme, Let's Get Deep, and New Phone Who Dis, but Who Killed Mia is a fresh take on murder mystery storyline for the social media age. Centered around the fictional influencer, Mia Starr, and her untimely death, players work to solve the case using a mix of physical and immersive digital evidence to uncover the killer. We started the game and literally could not put it down until we solved day 1. You should have seen the way we had the evidence sprawled out on the table like we were actually solving a true crime mystery. And with spooky season right around the corner, planning a murder mystery game night solving who killed Mia is the perfect fall activity. When it comes to stalking your favorite celebrity, you always get to the bottom of it. But can you get to the bottom of the murder of the world's favorite influencer and solve the case of who killed Mia? Find out at your next game night. This is a groundbreaking, digitally immersive murder mystery game from Relatable, the creators of the hit game What Do You Mean? And you can also save 20% off with promo code SHADY at relatable.com/whokilledmia. That's relatable.com/whokilledmia and use code SHADY for 20% off. Celeb news stalkers, it's your time to shine. Thank you to Relatable for sponsoring today's episode. Dude, but back to the alien thing, but not back to the alien thing, because I don't know if these are considered aliens. Did I ever talk about on here how, like, they say in, like, the Appalachian Mountains, there's, like, creatures that, like, take people and they try to communicate with them, and if you communicate back, that's when they'll take you?
No, but I've been hearing a lot about the Appalachians lately.
Okay, so I'm convinced. So we have, like, really, I can't say woods. We have some woods by our house.
No way.
No, but, dude, I swear to God, a creature was trying to communicate with me in the middle of the night.
Don't say anything to it.
Well, I kind of did. I fucked up. So listen, I started freaking out.
You got a crazy look in your eye.
I started freaking out and I literally screamed, woke up Evan, and I was like, get down here now. Because I thought, like, in my head, I pictured a creature coming and grabbing Lottie while she was shitting. And I was like, Evan, get down here. So anyway, so I'm out there and, like, it's middle of the night because Lottie will just, like, randomly have to shit in the middle of the night, which, I mean, at least she lets us know, but
thank God.
She could shit by my head, like I've said before. So I take her out and I'm like, all the lights are on so I can see what's going on. And I hear, like, crying in the back. And I think I've told you this one other time. I've said
it's a reoccurring instance.
Yes, one other time. It sounds like a fucking puppy crying. And supposedly if I, like, were to be like,
communicating back, is everything fine? You'd be taken.
I'd be taken. And I didn't communicate with it, but I started, like, trying to rush Lottie. So I was like, Lottie, come on.
Good response. Yeah.
Okay, but what if it thinks I'm talking?
You're not.
It's
You're
Lottie?
Clearly talking to Lottie.
I don't know, man. So, yeah, I recently had an encounter with
super
a creature.
Clear. Lottie before and after each sentence.
Wake up Evan. He comes out, like, in his boxers, standing on the deck, and he's like, what's going on? And I'm like, I'm communicating with the creature in the woods. It's fake crying. And he's like, bro.
So confused.
He's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, just get Lottie in the house now. Anyways, we all ended up living and nothing came out. But
yet
I just have to say this too. So,
what goes on?
So I'm picturing like a creature right now, you know, like in the woods.
Yeah.
For some reason, I'm just picturing Doja Cat. And I have to tell you something.
What do you have to tell me?
Like, recently at night, when I've gotten, like, scared or, like, woken up in the middle of the night, I dead ass picture Doja, like, hanging in the corner of my room. And, like, crawling on the ceiling. And it's so terrifying. And so it's safe to say I can't listen to her music anymore. Anyway,
I think that's what she wants.
We're getting way up. That is exactly what she wants. I don't know if she wants people picturing her in her room at night, but
is she from the Appalachians?
Oh my God. Anyways, maybe that's who I was communicating with.
You're crying.
Because it's actually hilarious that's true. Anyway, since we're talking about music, we've got a lot of music stuff going on. So
we do.
Let's get into some tour updates. Taylor Swift. I'm not over it. Hold on. Maybe you take this one.
All right, everybody. So Taylor Swift has announced that the Eras Tour is coming to an AMC theater near you this October. So we all saw this coming, but the time is now. What do you mean? Why are you looking at me like you didn't see this was coming? We all knew a documentary was coming.
I think the specifically AMC thing is what's throwing me off. But
oh, yeah. It was specifically AMC. Now it's expanded to other theaters. But apparently her dad is like mutual friends with someone who is mutual friends with an AMC executive. And that's how they made the deal for Taylor to exclusively go to AMC with her documentary. Since then, obviously, it's gone to other theaters, but
Interesting.
they made this entire deal on their own, no studio involvement, like no like film studio, and they complied with all of the SAG-AFTRA regulations.
What do you like with pay and stuff?
With like the strike going on right now, that it probably would have made it difficult to work with this.
So many things are getting either canceled or postponed until like 2025.
Right.
So hers is coming out
this year and filmed this year. So that's going to be very exciting to see. I will be there opening night.
If you can get tickets.
I already got my ticket.
Did you?
I'm in Taylor Swift's fan club.
I got to be honest. When I heard this, I wasn't even excited because I immediately thought, great, just another thing for me to get excluded from.
Well, it's not only on October 13th. It'll be in the theaters for as long as any movie would be in theaters.
Yeah, I know, but I still feel like everyone's going to sell the tickets out. And I'm just sick of it. I just want
I'll go with you to see it.
I just want, as a normal, not like crazy fan, to be able to see.
Well, then I wouldn't recommend night one because
I'm not going to do that. I would never.
There's already been a lot of like TikToks and like disputes on, are we sitting or are we standing? And this is my PSA to all Swifties that may listen to this. It's the movie theater. We're going to sit. We're going to enjoy the movie, but we're going to sit. You will not catch me standing up during a movie at the movie theater. That's my hot take here.
I did not watch the trailer. I feel like that's a cancelable offense.
I think it's okay.
And my question to you is it like a behind the scenes of the tour, or is it like literally the show?
I think it's going to literally be the show because the runtime of the movie is 2 hours and 45 minutes and her set is typically over 3 hours. So it's definitely cut down. So I think like a lot of like the interludes between sets have been cut out, or like the standing ovations, the clapping, like a lot of that's been cut down to fit this 2 hours and 45 minutes.
I would have been way more interested to see what was going on behind the scenes.
I think she's going to do one of those too. And my guess is she's going to have something like that come out on like a Disney Plus or a streaming service, because she's done behind the scenes on like a lot of the making of her albums in those places.
Interesting.
Not at AMC.
Like, I would just love to see her genuine reaction to like, even when tickets were going on sale, when like all that shit went down with Ticketmaster, like I want to see that.
I want to know how she came up with the entire concept behind the Eras tour, how she decided the set list and which Eras were going to go first, her dance for, like I want the full on
I just want her reactions to like the craziness that has been going on with like surrounding it.
Yeah, it's been a lot.
Like, I just want to see her genuine response.
It's history. I'm a part of it.
Okay. Also, the Beyonce tour. I feel like this has been getting just as much like
it's been getting a lot of hype.
Blue was the star for a while.
For a while, she was truly stealing the show every weekend.
But now, since it's in California now.
Yeah, she was in LA this past weekend.
So everybody went, and they're kind of the stars of the show now. So Zendaya and Tom Holland went, which I figured you were thrilled to see.
I was so happy to see them out, having fun together, smiling, interacting with the crowd.
Yeah, it was also Beyonce's 42nd birthday, so she was performing on her birthday.
Yes, she was. And what I want to know is, because there was a long, long list of celebrities there for her birthday. Did Beyonce invite all these celebrities there? Did some of them just choose to go that weekend because they knew it was her birthday, but Beyonce didn't say to come? You know what I mean?
Right. Like, was it planned for them to all come?
Exactly. I'm sure with some of them, maybe, but who's to say? Like, did Beyonce specifically invite Vanessa Hudgens? I don't know.
Yeah.
But did she specifically invite Zendaya? I would think yes, because she literally screamed, Zendaya is what she said. Zendaya, I love you, while on a horse floating in the air. So that I would say like, oh, she probably invited him.
That was iconic.
That was incredible.
What do you think the relationship is there?
I feel like they're like family. I feel
how would that happen? Like, how did that start? That is so like, because I
love
remember when it was like at a fashion show or something,
They
and
were
it went
hugging.
viral because they like hugged, and basically Beyonce's security wasn't letting like anybody come say
Near
hi,
her.
and there was obviously a lot of celebrities there. It was a fashion show, like I think it was in like Paris or something, but the security specifically like grabbed Zendaya to like come say hi to Beyonce, and they were like, that never happens. What the hell is this relationship? And now I'm kind of wondering.
I feel like they got to be really close. But another relationship I want to see how this played out is Zendaya is co-stars with Timothée Chalamet, who was also there with Kylie Jenner. And like, what was it? Like, I just can't picture a world of like Tom Holland being around the Kardashians. Like, I feel like he's so down to earth and normal, and not that the Kardashians aren't, but I just feel like they live two different lifestyles.
Well, that's what everyone's saying about Timothy and Kylie just in general.
I didn't believe they were really together until I saw them.
I don't know.
Beyonce show.
I feel like people just assume, like, I don't know, like they know their personality of Timothy because of like things he's done.
Right.
Like you don't know what he's actually, or even Kylie, like I feel like Kylie has never really showed her full personality.
Because she's been hiding it since she was younger.
Yeah, so you don't truly know. Like they could have things in common that you just don't know about. But it is weird because for some reason in my head, there's a hair in the side of my head. Yeah. For some reason in my head, Timothy is like so young. And it's not that Kylie's not, but like she has children and stuff. So in my mind, it's just like they're not the same age. Yeah. I don't know. Or they're not in the same world.
No, that's the exact way I feel about like Tom Holland and the Kardashians. Like they both exist as A-list celebrities, but not in the same world of A-list celebrities, which is clearly untrue because they run in similar circles. We're both in like the same VIP section. But what I want to know is, okay, so when it comes time for like Timothée Chalamet is about to be in like a lot of movies that are coming out. I'm pretty sure Dune, the second installment of that, is coming out sometime this fall or next year. Wonka is coming out at some point either this fall, next year. Not sure the exact dates. Like, is Kylie going to go walk the red carpet with him, or is he going to continue to do those endeavors alone?
Girl Boss Town thinks that Kylie is going to continue to like soft launch the relationship by like him being in the background during Thanksgiving and then like
holidays,
full blown post him for his birthday after
at the end of the year.
Yeah, because his birthday's like right after Christmas or something.
I could see that. I could definitely see that happening. I would love to see him on the new season of The Kardashians. Or whenever they film.
That would be so weird. Wouldn't it be?
It would be weird, but like I feel like everyone felt the same thing when Kim was dating Pete and they were like, I can't imagine seeing him on the Kardashians. Yeah. But like I really can't imagine seeing Timothée Chalamet.
Yeah, it's definitely it's just a pairing I just never expected.
I just feel like I don't know. I'll think on some like Timothée Chalamet just feels like seems so like Gen Z celebrity idols, where the Kardashians feel very like millennial celebrity idols.
Yeah, I agree with that. But also just supposedly I saw a video. Supposedly Beyonce rubbed her belly.
Did she?
During performing, and like it was with like a lyric that made people believe that she was possibly announcing a pregnancy.
So you were referring to Beyonce with that. You were texting me about this, and for some reason I thought you meant Kylie.
Well, no. Oh my God, no. No. I feel like it's a similar situation with when Rihanna was announcing it. And everyone was like, don't make assumptions. The fuck
Yes.
is wrong
And then
with
it
you?
was like, that's exactly like, what she was trying to do.
And like, it was so subtle that again, like, how do you, I don't know if it was what she was trying to do, but people think. So I guess we'll wait and see what that happened. But it's kind of a similar situation to this Joe Jonas and Sophie Turner getting a divorce. When this first came out, I literally was like, it's giving me and Evan at the club not making out, so we're splitting up.
Yep, Trouble in Paradise.
Yeah, and so I was like, they're bored, like something, this is not true. And then literally the next day, it's confirmed that Joe Jonas filed for divorce for irreconcilable differences. And I was like, first of all, where the fuck does TMZ get their information?
I was thinking the same thing because they broke the news that they are officially no longer together and the files were filed.
Yes, but they said that they were heading for divorce the day before he filed. And there were no signs of turmoil. Like, she was at the concert. He was wearing the ring. Yeah, but then he wore the ring after that.
Which is odd.
And in post, he wore it. And even a post today, when he filed, he was wearing the ring. So there was really no signs of it, I guess, besides the TMZ article.
Yeah.
That was the only thing that would have led people to be like, oh, we knew
sources
that.
everywhere.
It's so scary.
I've been seeing people online saying that they think that Joe's team is trying to get ahead of a situation that they might be trying to cover up.
Yeah.
That there's more to the story. And this is all just pure speculation.
As we've witnessed
firsthand. But people are saying like, oh, Sophie wants to go party. Like, she's like a big party girl. But at the same time, there's all these receipts coming out of Sophie saying, oh, I'm a homebody. Them two being together and being like, oh, of the two of you, who likes to party more, or who's the homebody, and pointing at Sophie for the homebody and Joe
social
for the party.
Yeah,
he being a social butterfly and her not being able to keep, like, when I read that, I was like, I don't picture her as somebody who just wants to party.
I mean, same. Again, we don't know. I feel like that was the other thing I was kind of shocked about. I saw someone explaining in a video, like, they are so private, you do not know if that's true. Like, she never said when she was pregnant with her first kid. We don't even know the names of her kids. Like, there's so much information. Never posted about their wedding until, like, a year later when it was done with.
They are
like,
very
private, actually. Like, even though they're very public people, they're private with that. And so, like, we actually don't know what goes on. And again, like, we know that firsthand, but it's like, we don't know. Like, I don't know. It's just one of those situations where I'm like, it's crazy how they predicted, but like, obviously they had a source, but it's just wild. I did not see that coming. And it was so funny because I think you showed me, there was a girl like dressing in the Game of Thrones outfit for the Jonas Brothers tour. And she's like, what do I do now?
That's so unfortunate.
I was such a big Game of Thrones fan too.
Were you really?
Yeah.
I never watched it.
Oh my
I heard it's like pretty like gory, and there's like a lot of like killing in it.
That's the facts.
And I just feel like I wouldn't do well with all of that.
It's still really good though.
However, I did watch Squid Games when that came out.
I'm pretty sure they're coming out with another one.
I hope so. That's what they said back when it came out. What was that?
Back in the day.
2 years ago now?
It feels like so long ago. I don't know.
I was really looking forward to season 2, but
I don't know. But yeah, that's been going on. What else? Oh my God. Romper stomper.
Bro.
Dude, I kind of have a hot take on this. I feel like there's no way. So the story is, if you don't know, the romper stomper. Basically, this girl comes out of the porta potty to her mom being like beat up by two girls. And so she just comes in and like saves the day. Just grabs these girls off her mom. Just completely KOs them. They're out of the picture. And so she's gone viral. Everyone's on her side. Like, she saved her mom. She's a hero, whatever. I don't know. Whatever. Drop as much as you can be a hero for beating someone's ass, for kicking your mom. But the story that she's saying is like, oh, basically, I accidentally cut this huge line at the porta potty, went to the bathroom. My mom was guarding the door, which again, like if the mom's guarding the door, she obviously knew, like something you guys knew you cut. Yeah. But anyway, so she was like, I accidentally cut. And that was like why it all started. Because basically everyone in line got pissed. Like they cut. Yeah. And the mom was like, whatever, defending her for cutting. And that's how the whole fight supposedly started. Yeah. But like, I gotta say, there's no way. We've been in so many situations, like,
there's never been a situation with a porta potty line where I haven't wanted to, tried, or actually cut the line and knew exactly what I was doing.
you do. It's like a situation. You're obviously drunk. You're at a concert. You're like, oh my God, I have to go so fucking bad. Like, I'm going to piss myself.
Yeah.
And so you just think, maybe if I...
Well, she fucked up, because what you got to do in those situations is you can't just like act like you're just like, oh, I gotta pee.
No,
you gotta be like, I gotta fucking puke right now and I need to go to the bathroom. And then people will typically move.
Typically, they don't want to get thrown up on or shit on, which leads us to our next story.
Shit's bad.
Of literally a guy somehow shitting down the aisle. I had to say that because I need you to know how serious this is. Pooping down the aisle of a Delta airplane. Now, can you just picture this? You're sitting on a plane.
Sounds like some spirit shit.
You're sitting on a plane. You're crowded, shoulder to shoulder. Legs are tight. You can't move. And you know what? In some situations, it's hot in there. It's a little steamy in there already. When you take off, and you land, it does get cold though once you're in the air. But when you take off and land, sometimes it's steamy in there. And
I really don't like that you said that so many times.
Steamy and moist. Anyway.
I'm so sorry.
This guy somehow gets pooped down the aisle of the plane, and so bad.
Physically seems impossible.
So bad that they land the plane, turn around and land the plane instead of going. Because the general consensus on the plane was that it actually smelled so bad that they didn't give a shit. Literally, this guy gave a shit. Didn't care. They wanted to go back and get off the plane because of how bad. And the pilot had to radio in saying, like, I think it's a biohazard.
Yeah. And I don't understand. Like, this is not, they were not in space. They were not in a zero gravity situation where the poop could just
fling around.
Like, how did it get from point A to point B to point C?
So the only thing I could think of,
I don't want to know,
was... Why did I think of it?
We need a trigger warning.
The only thing I could think of was potentially if he was like wearing shorts and accidentally had a little shart and then like got up to go to the bathroom and it like fell out his pant leg. You know what I mean? No. Don't picture it now. But anyway, that was the only scenario that I could think of.
I can't imagine being on this plane because I truly would have had to push people out of the way to go to the bathroom to vomit.
No, because
if I was hearing
do
all
you know
of,
how many people
this?
were probably gagging in their seats, like vomiting?
And if I hear other people starting to gag and like they're
even talking about it now, I could. So
same. And I feel bad for everyone that had to listen to this, but like that's just worst case scenario. You think you're going to Spain and nope, you're right back in wherever you came from.
I think it was like Atlanta or something.
Like,
it's just such a tragic situation. And also imagine being that guy in the whole, you're sitting in your seat. Like obviously this wasn't on purpose. I hope, unless it was like a fetish thing, but obviously it wasn't on purpose. So you're this guy, you just shit your pants and went everywhere. And now everyone around you is just like, oh.
I pray to God it never comes to light whoever this man was, because whoever did it, they could never live it down. It got so bad you had to turn a plane around. Like that's
the general consensus. The whole plane agreed. It smells so bad. I don't care about my trip or my money. Turn this plane around. And I heard that they tore the carpet out of the plane. They tore it up.
He destroyed the fucking
Are they going to fine him for that? Like,
I want to know what the financial compensation for those people on that plane is going to be, because all I saw was a like apology. I don't even think Delta had to, I don't even think they addressed what the situation was. I think they just put, we are sincerely like sorry for the situation at hand. And then they landed 8 hours after like what their arrival was supposed to be. I would want free flights for a very 100%. Long time.
They're probably going to do something.
Free flights.
Yeah, it was a disastrous situation.
A lot of disasters.
But speaking of disastrous situations, Burning Man was literally considered a
what?
Words.
A who?
Natural disaster, wasn't it?
I think.
What the hell was it called?
Burning Man.
No.
So if you don't know Burning Man, seems like my own personal nightmare is a week-long, large-scale desert campout focused on community art, self-expression, and self-reliance held annually.
What the hell is this?
What do you mean?
I just Googled. It was considered a national disaster, but it came up right away. Officials confirmed an Ebola outbreak at Burning Man.
That was false information that was spread.
Oh. Yeah, it says it here.
Right after false. Perfect. So now it's down here. No, but
that's my bad.
This is what really got me. So I started doing some research into Burning Man because in my mind I've always pictured it as this vacant desert of nothing, and that's literally what it fucking is. It's I found the first timer's guide. It stated they don't book acts or provide entertainment. What happens here is totally up to you. There's no corporate sponsorship. You are entering a decommodified space where participants value who you are and not what you have. There are no spectators. You are expected to participate, collaborate, be inclusive, creative, connective, and clean up after yourself.
Yeah.
Like, you just go there and, like, whatever happens, happens.
I mean, I think at this point, because it's been going on for so long, everybody does kind of know who's going to come or not. Like, Diplo went and, like, I think he did a set.
In a hot air balloon.
Yeah. So, basically, people, it's very reputable. So, like, people do go and they get, like, pretty big names to go.
Yeah, but that's just, there's no plan. There's no...
It's definitely different than
a typical
a normal like festival.
Yeah. No, it is. They have a survival guide.
Yeah.
A literal survival guide. I read it and it said some stuff in there. Some stuff that I think they might want to edit after what happened this year.
Uh-oh. Like what?
They were just like, what did they say in there? They were, Burning Man is fun. Getting ill or injured, well, not so fun. Here's some things to keep in mind about the Black Rock Desert. It's one of those strikingly beautiful and utterly eternal locations in the world. The world will ever try to kill you.
Oh. Most strikingly beautiful and utterly
eternal locations in the world that will ever try to kill you.
Yeah, that's cryptic. I don't like that.
Yeah, I mean, they did follow that with, okay, maybe we're being a little bit dramatic.
But they weren't.
No, they weren't, because this was...
To be fair, they said before, I'm pretty sure before everybody went, which was like 70,000 people got stranded, they said not to go because that desert used to be like a lake or something. So it's pretty like deep and easy to get like...
That
mud,
the mud.
It is.
There's a specific name for the mud, that situation that was happening there.
Something, not
the
good.
playa. I feel like they kept calling it the playa.
I don't know, but it used to be a lake, so it dried up, and if it gets wet, it's not good, and it gets like that where you can barely like get out of it. It basically sucks everything in.
Yeah.
So they told everybody in advance not to go, and also there was another warning sign because climate activists were blocking the road in originally
for hours on opening day.
Yeah, saying like turn around, whatever. And so
should have listened to them.
They had a lot of warnings of not to go, and they ended up going anyway. But people had to walk like 5+ miles to get out, I guess.
Yeah, Diplo and Chris Rock. Chris Rock, who also made it to Beyonce's concert for her birthday that same weekend.
We need to fucking unpack this right now because Chris Rock, we spotted him at Lala. So he's at Lala, Burning Man.
Wait, where was he at Lala?
He was seeing, I want to believe that they said, the people we were with saw him at Lil Yachty.
Shut up, really?
Yes. And
he's
so he
bopping
was
around.
Yes, he's there. He's at Burning Man. He's at Beyonce.
He was walking
What's
into
he
Beyonce right behind the Kardashians, too.
Want to hang out with him?
Kind of. He seems to have the hookup. And him and Diplo were just cruising out of there after their 5 or 6 mile walk. And Diplo had another show in DC, made it to that. Chris Rock was just talking about how he wanted to fucking cold brew.
So I think we could be best friends.
Yeah, that sounds about
He's
right.
going to festivals. He's drinking cold brew. That's all he cares about.
Getting out safely.
He's getting out safely. We gotta find a way to tag along with Chris Rock.
He's got the hookup somehow, some way.
I always think it's so interesting to see like random people kind of like that get interested. Obviously, everybody loves music. It's like a universal thing.
Yeah.
But when you see somebody like that at all these places, you're like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
He's just
Having
a good time. Living life.
I'm happy for him.
I guess. Me too.
I'm jealous of him. Yeah, so that was a mess. I still don't totally understand the Burning Man concept. So I guess on the last day
they burn the man.
Which who builds the man?
I don't know, because apparently it seems like there's no order there. So how do they ensure there's always a man? Somebody must volunteer to do it. I don't know.
Interesting.
You know?
Yeah. I guess there's a lot of questions I have about it. And I'll never know.
No, I won't either. I won't. It really sounds scary to me.
I feel like burning something in the desert too. Like you just go so.
And they still did it after their days of potentially being stranded there. And all.
Well, we had another festival fail. This one was in the city though, so there was ways out, but barely. I heard this one was actually almost just as bad. So Ezoo Festival, which is Electric Zoo Festival, happens in New York. It's been happening there since 2009. So it's a 3-day festival, or it was supposed to be this year. But on day one, they canceled the first day because the main stage was not finished getting built.
Let me tell you, if Lollapalooza ever pulled that, I'd be so mad.
I can't imagine. And then Saturday was open, but the waits were over 4 hours long for will call. And I guess majority of festival goers had to go to will call because their bracelets didn't come in the mail before, like enough in advance. They didn't send them out. So people waited 4 hours in line at will call just to get in on Saturday and basically only saw the last performer. Then on Sunday, organizers started turning ticket holders away, saying that it was at capacity. So then people just said, fuck it, and ran through the barricades.
Yeah, I'll do that.
So obviously it was very unsafe in there. It was definitely over capacity. And then people were saying that when the show was going on Saturday, there was screens broken, sound issues, unfinished stages, not enough workers. So apparently this whole thing happened because Ezoo was bought in 2022 by new owners. And supposedly they hadn't done festivals before. So people are thinking that that's why it basically went to shit this year. But now everybody's like, I don't know if I would ever go back because also these crowds, it was like just a safety hazard. And like not enough security, not enough workers, and just like not safe.
Can't have that. Cannot have that.
And on the same tune, we have another big red flag, safety hazard, problematic festival being planned because Fyre Fest 2 pre-sale is now available.
I'm not even sure they can call themselves Fyre Fest 2 because it sounds like this is Fyre Fest, 4 now? We got Burning Man, Catastrophe, we've got Ezoo, and then Fyre Fest.
The second take. And it's so wild to me that any investor would be willing to do this after the guy who was behind Fyre Fest 1 literally went to prison for fraud.
But he used his time to write a 50-page document on how he was going to make it better. And let me tell you, I do not think 50 pages would be enough to fix what happened at Fyre Fest Part 1.
If you go to prison for something, probably come out and don't do it again.
I'm pretty sure that's like the rehabilitation part of going there, to learn from your mistakes. And maybe that's what he tried to do with this document, but like maybe don't directly recreate it. Maybe do something else with your time to impact the world.
Not him. But supposedly this is supposed to happen by the end of 2024. Tickets start. We're out to a good start. No date, but you can buy tickets now. Doesn't sound like fraud to me.
That's not how you go about
like a scam to me.
Planning anything.
Tickets are up for sale starting at $4.99, ranging to $7,999. So cheap, no problem.
Oh yeah, perfect.
Yeah, I saw a video of him promoting it, and he was like, I spent my however many days in solitary confinement coming up with a way. It's like, what? The fact that that can come out of your mouth and you don't think like, wait, I should rethink this. Yeah. I guess we'll see what happens. If it happens at all, or if he just takes everyone's money and goes back to prison for fraud again. I don't know. Oh gosh. All right.
I don't even know.
We started this episode on a high note with some shady stories. Let's end it with some shady stories.
Wow.
Beautiful. Full circle moment. So this is actually shady story number 1 is an update on our cousin.
I'm Googling beautiful.
You got caught in HD.
Yeah, you're staring at me. It was weird.
Because I was trying to think of a way to say, like, I didn't want to say, like, I didn't want to say, like, what I was going to say because it wasn't true. I was going to say.
You're just going to lie?
No, I was going to say, like, the quote that was coming in my head was cousin fucker, but, like, I don't know why. And I think that's from like South Park or something. I don't know. Anyway, it wasn't true anyways because they never did that. And we appreciate this
Alabama
person anyway
story.
because they gave us an update and
we don't get that a lot and we ask for that a lot.
Yeah, so we appreciate you and I'm going to read it right now. It has a title, by the way.
Right now.
It's called Acute update on my family business. Last weekend, we met up in a cafe and I just did it. I told him everything in one breath, showed the DNA results and our mom's Christmas pictures they took years ago, and before he processed the whole situation and said something, I left the place. The poor guy looked super confused, if not terrified, and I decided to give him some time and space to dwell on it, thinking it was only fair since it took me a couple of days to embrace that shit myself. However, he reached out to me a day later and invited me to his house. I bought vodka on my way there. We got drunk and talked about everything openly without the awkward silence we shared in that cafe. He said our relationship shouldn't be doomed because of something we didn't know or couldn't have known, and that he would be happy to get to know me better as a cousin, of course. It's still pretty fucking weird to look at him and think, oh God, he's my cousin, but I do believe it should get less icky with time. I'll try my best to move on as soon as possible. At the end of the day, he is my cousin indeed. So yeah, next weekend I'm going bowling with him and his siblings to try to work on our family drama, and also because he said, wow, now you gotta meet my little brother because he hasn't taken a DNA test yet, lol, and get comfortable around each other again. Thank you for your advice, ladies. P.S. Also, Britt, we live in Vermont now, but our family does come from Alabama, so sweet home it is. Haha.
I'm so happy that I somehow hit the nail on that.
It was a lucky guess. Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, I'm glad it's like kind of a happy ending. They're going to be cousins, but how weird is that? Like,
they're going to be cousins.
They're going to be cousins now. But it is weird because like she said, like she's trying to move on and it's like this awkward feeling of like, I liked this guy.
Right.
But it's fucked up because I know this now.
That's going to take some time.
I was very happy the way it ended because at the point when it said I bought, dude, my hat's just bothering me today. Sorry. The point where it said I bought vodka on my way there, we got drunk. I was like,
could have went slippery slope downhill real quick.
We're really getting into,
and then they were gonna work on their relationship.
Then I would have been right what I first said. That wasn't true.
But it's not. We kept it classy. We kept it cute.
And now you're getting more family. So
right, and that'd be a funny story, but like. My question is like, does the little brother know? You know
I didn't really
mean?
get that part about the DNA thing. Like, he might not be your little brother then? Or
yeah, like they might be able to hook up. I think it was a joke. They were just joking. They're just making light of the situation. Just a little hee hee.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to give this a 10 out of 10 because I'm just really happy that we got the update.
Me too.
10 out of 10.
And that hopefully they laughed at my joke because they are from Alabama. Shady story number 2. My best friend was dating a guy who was such a creep. I got a bad feeling about him the day I met him. He was love bombing her and she was falling for it. He was doing everything for her around the house, which then made it seem like she needed him. They were always together and she stopped seeing friends. We could all see the red flags, but she was so far in, she couldn't see anything. One day, she announced she was engaged. And then I found out she actually bought her own ring because he wasn't financially able to do so. She was also paying for everything, and every time they went out, she paid for it. He paid for nothing. Eventually, when she couldn't afford to pay for their outings, she just stayed at home with him 7 days a week. She never left the house. So I had to do something before she made the biggest mistake of her life. So I got to work. I started digging into his life, and she failed to tell me was that he was on probation for a horrible crime, a crime that involved a woman, but she believed him. His probation was pretty strict, and he was breaking some of his probation rules, so I anonymously emailed the probation officer and told them. They caught him, and he went back to jail for 2 years. I have no regrets. She is no longer engaged to him, and she can finally see what was happening. She still doesn't know it was me. Bum, bum, bum.
Dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. I think you did the right thing. I'm proud of you.
I also think that was probably the right thing to do there. I don't even think this is shady. I think that is just...
This is just justice being served.
Wow. That could have been your quote. That was beautiful. Yeah, I agree. I don't think this was shady. This was the right thing to do.
Another 10 out of 10.
I think this would be like a 0 out of 10 because it's not shady.
Oh, yeah.
But like 10 out of 10 because
justice was served. Truth is truth. That's something you haven't heard in a minute.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, true.
Damn straight.
Truth is truth. Okay. Shady story number 3. In high school, during an English class, some of my friends were constantly laughing and passing notes, which made the teacher have to constantly shush them. As the class was coming to an end, they didn't stop their behavior, and as a result, the teacher decided to punish them. This happened on a Friday, and they spent the entire weekend being upset about what had happened and saying bad things about the teacher. The next week during class, one of them called the teacher while another asked to go to the bathroom. While the teacher was distracted with one of them, the other went by the teacher's desk and quickly took their car keys and left. And the third one was on the lookout to see if anyone had noticed. At the end of the class, they all left quickly. I didn't know what to do because I knew the teacher would realize that the keys were missing. I sent several messages to the group chat we had and said it would be better for them to return the keys tomorrow and say that they found it. The next day, all the students were warned to immediately turn in any car keys they found. They still refused to do so, and when I confronted them about it, they threatened to accuse me of being involved if I reported them. In the end, nobody ever found out what happened, and no one suspected that someone had stolen the keys. But I always felt guilty about what happened, even though I hadn't done anything. I knew what had happened. What would you have done in my place?
I would have done the same damn thing. I would have done nothing because I'm not good at conflict resolution.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have done anything as well, which is terrible.
Really good advice for you out there.
To ask, so I guess don't feel guilty about it. I think that was like the natural reaction to do. And I was thinking, like, at first when I read this story, I was like, this isn't that shady. But then I was thinking, imagine being like stuck at school, like you're a teacher, it's the weekend.
Not even just stuck at school. You're stuck at work at that point.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, I have a fear of
getting stuck at work.
No, close though. I take so many people when we are in the office, they just leave their purse at their desk all the time, which is fine. I'm not concerned about like other people at work stealing my purse. But what I am concerned with is if there was ever a fucking fire in my building and I didn't have my purse on me, so I had to leave without my keys, I'm not going to be able to get home. So not only will have there been a fire, but now I'm stuck down here and I can't get home. I want to be able to drive home.
Yeah,
so I keep my freaking purse on me at all times because I want my car keys and to be able to get home at any given point in time.
I want to be able to leave the situation.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like people don't think about that enough.
This is a PSA.
Yeah.
Yeah. At first I was like, it's not that big a deal. But then I was like, that would actually fucking suck.
I thought that they were going to take the car and like crash it or something. Like I really thought that's where it was going.
But honestly, think about it. Like, have you ever had to get new keys for your car? I feel like it'd be such a hassle.
No, because I have a spare key.
I mean, same, but like
it would be a hassle.
It would just be a hassle.
I mean, yeah.
And then what, you have to like Uber home from work.
That's what people have to do if there's ever a fire in our building because no one keeps their damn keys on them.
We're like actually being dramatic because like some people don't have cars and
that's true. We are being a little bit dramatic.
Yeah, like it's not that Uber. Big of a deal.
There's actually a plethora of
of
different options out there. But I would just like the comfort of
knowing
being able to be in control of the situation if there was a fire.
I guess in the level of pettiness from the kids' point of view, that was probably like such a big deal. Like they were probably
they probably talk about that
to this day. Like at every their 10-year high school reunion, they're like,
remember that time we stole Mrs. whatever her name is Mrs. Puff's keys? Is crazy.
Mrs. Puff?
Yeah.
Dude, really quickly. I know it's like the end of the podcast, but I just have to say it. Did you see the conspiracy that Mrs. Puff is actually
a criminal?
Like a criminal?
Yes, I have.
So if you haven't, go look that up and join our Patreon to see bonus content. And
remember, everything has beauty, but not everyone sees it.
And that's the end of this episode. We will see you guys next week.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.